So I'm joined by manager Phil Burke after a 1-1 draw at home to AFC Fylde. So circumstances with availability, Phil, how did you view the game with those circumstances involved?
No, listen, it was going to be a tough game regardless of circumstances that are out of our control. Obviously, it's much harder. When it's not just this week though, so it's not going to be an excuse. We've had it for numerous weeks now. We've got an outfielder in net, no top goal scorers out injured. But then on top of that today, when you've got Liz having to come off at half time, you've got Izzy and Haz having to play through as much as they did with injuries as well, and then picking up more injuries throughout the game. It was difficult. It was a tough test. It was a very physical game. But listen, it's not an excuse. I don't think many other teams in the league would be able to cope with what we've had to cope with. I don't think many other teams in the league would be able to get positive results the way that we have. So again, I'm not going to make an excuse if that's the reason we didn't win the football match. I think even with what we had out today, we could have definitely won that football game. But I don't think our performance was good enough, especially in the first half. I thought that we shown a little bit too much respect to Fylde. I felt like we played with a little bit of fear in the first half, and we should never fear any team. They've had a great start. We've had a good start ourselves. Obviously, some people have described our start as a mixed bag, but we've literally won the majority of our football matches. So I think we've had a good start. I think that's not the end of the world today. I just think that if we'd have played at the level we're capable of today, even with the circumstances, I think we could have took all 3 points.
Yeah, I think you say you played with a bit of fear, but I still think you were quite defensively strong. 0-0 at half time, maybe not the chances you wanted, but in terms of stopping them, I think that went quite well. Was there anything you put in for that particular aim?
Listen, we always try and look at a team's strengths and weaknesses, especially in big games like this. But I wanted us to impose our strengths on them a little bit more rather than just focus on stopping them. But you're right, we did do a good job defensively. I think we managed to frustrate them at times, and I think this year this team's been this is probably the best defensive team, best team at defending we've had since the club started. I think they do defend really, really well, but I'd like us to have taken the game to them a little bit more, imposed ourselves on them a little bit more, and tried to show our strengths. But once we went 1-0 up, really disappointed to have conceded the equaliser from a set piece, especially from a point where we normally have someone on the back post, and in that moment we've moved off it. So it is frustrating, it is disappointing, but listen, like I've said, it's not the end of the world. There's a long way to go, and we're still definitely in it.
You just commented there about the defending, individual performances. Molly Etchells picking up player of the match. Just how did you rate the performance of your captain today?
I thought she was colossal from minute one, and I think if we were all on the same level as Molly from minute one, I think we'd have had a better result today. I think she led by example. I thought she was brilliant in every single aspect from minute 1 to minute 90, and I think it's just another game where we can learn from it, we can become better for it. But listen, I'm definitely not downbeat and definitely not worried about going forward this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned going forward a lot. The league, only 5 points in it. Still think it's doable?
100%. Listen, we're not going to say it isn't doable until we're mathematically out of it. So if we'd have lost the game today, I'd have stood here and said we can still do it. So I think it's now no longer in our hands with that. But listen, this league's tough. There's a lot of tough games to come for both us and Fylde, and any other team that might find themselves in a title race. But yeah, we can definitely do it. We've just got to find our levels, especially in the big games, and we've got to make sure that the games where we're not supposed to slip up, we don't slip up. So, as I said, we're in a good place. We've done well to deal with the situations that have been put on us over the last month or so. We're still going to have to deal with those situations in the coming weeks, but hopefully we can come through that period and hopefully we can start getting our strongest squad available week in, week out.
Finally from me then, FA Cup action next week, so a break from the league. Another good crowd on today. How do you prepare for next week, and also any message for the supporters ahead of the game against I2I next week?
Yeah, I think first of all we need to see how many players are going to be able to get fit and out on the pitch. So training will obviously depend on on recoveries and on how many people are able to train after today. But same as always, there'll be a lot of emphasis on how we can attack and how we can win the game. Obviously in response to the performance today. So yeah, we'll do our homework. We'll do what we do. And yeah, to the fans, you were great again today. I thought they brought a good following. It's a good little battle in the stands. And we need you again next Sunday. You know the FA Cup is massive for this football club. So please get down and get behind us next week.
Thanks for your time, Phil, and good luck against I2I next week.
Cheers, mate.